Intro to West Coast Swing, week 5. I'm your guest instructor, Mark. Reen is on vacation this week, so she's enjoying warm weather and saunas and yoga and whatnot, having a good time. So you got stuck with me, but we got to talk about some fun stuff, which is some of the spice that we can introduce into our dancing. As last week we dealt with hand changes, which can change things up. This week we talked about the variations in the way that we can dance in positions: closed position, open position, extended position. Open position is where we have been most of the time. This is where we have the 2-hand hold. Leaders are offered underneath with the slight cupping, and followers are over the top with the cupping as well, right? So we're engaged that way, both hands. If one of us, typically the leader, then releases one hand, usually it would be the right hand, then for the followers it's the left, then we could open up a little bit more. So this hand stays where it is, but this other side of our body can open a little bit more. We call this extended position. And finally, closed position brings things in a lot closer. For my leaders, this means having the hand on the shoulder blade, just underneath the armpit here, so about there. You want to have a nice firm connection in there. Fingers flat across the back, not digging in, not open and away from the body, but just flat across the back. And if you imagine that my follower is standing right here and is facing me, then I actually want to be sort of offset a little bit to my right as a leader, and I want to be turned about 45 degrees. My hand is on the back, my follower's arm is draped across mine in a manner that is comfortable. It's not on the outside of my arm, it's not necessarily on the inside, mostly on the top, slightly to the inside, and applying a gentle downward pressure that creates a connection where we can communicate. My other hand will be in a low swing hold, about waist high, about where you would find it at the middle of a sugar push potentially, and the follower's hand will be just draped in mine there, creating a second connection point. In closed position, we can do all of our favorite moves: sugar push, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. We can do a left side pass, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. We just sort of rotate around to that. We can do a right side underarm. For my leaders, it's a little awkward. It can be done, but you do have to take sort of a large step because you're on the right side of the slot, and you need to get all the way to the left side of the slot, and you need to twist your body so that the follower can go, you can initiate the movement of the follower, the rotation of the follower around that way. You gotta get this leg out of the way. So there's a lot of moving parts to think about there, but you can do it, okay? And you can also initiate a sugar tip. 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. I would usually just end that back in open position, which brings us to the next point. We aren't going to dance all of our dance in closed position. We aren't going to dance all of our dance in open position. We aren't going to dance all of our dance in extended position. We could theoretically do that, and you could do that as a practice exercise anytime that you want, but most dances are going to start in one of those positions and then transfer to another, transition to another, transition back to one. It's going to flow around between all these things, just the same way that we would start with a standard handhold. We'd go to a cross handhold, go to a different cross handhold, go to a double cross handhold, and get back to a regular handhold. There's lots of things to do, and that's one of the things that makes this dance so fun. So one of the ways that we can get from open position to closed position is with a standard sugar push. For my leaders, you will initiate this standard sugar push, 2, 3, and for 4, you need to be closer to your partner in order to do to get into closed position. So you need to take a larger step, and you need to do it off center. So you want to do this outside your follower's legs so that you can get closer without having to be like in between her legs and really on top of her. It's a way to be off to the side. I'll back up a little bit here so you can see my feet a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sort of a larger step off to my right, off to my follower's left on the rail, so outside of the slot. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm being very intentional about I'm using this hand. I'm going to use this hand. So the hand is up, it has energy, it has motion, I'm directing it to my follower, and this is a way to signal to my follower, I'm going for your back, please respond accordingly. However that happens to be. It might be rejection or it might be acceptance, right? So followers, if you see that signal, if you see the leader reaching for your back with energy with the hand, the polite thing to do, if you want to accept that invitation, is to make some space for that. So to raise this arm a little bit, to open it up so that there is more of an avenue for the leader to reach through and engage in closed position without accidentally touching something that you might not want him to touch. So again, that's if you're interested. If you're not interested, feel free to slide it away. For my leaders then, 1, 2, 3, and 4. A larger step off to the side, swinging in with this hand, swooping in, getting the back, 5 and 6, and then resolving to this 45-degree off to the side, engage to the back position, and then offer to take the other hand down below. Now you're in closed position, okay? Another way to get into closed position is to do a right side underarm pass and to catch the back. So it's a standard right side, 1, 2, looking at the watch. By 2, your follower is probably already starting to rotate a little bit, and once you see any of the back, you can reach and engage with the back. The way that I do this is I'm shooting to have my fingertips in the center of the follower's back. So my fingertips are right at where the spine is. What that does is it allows for when the follower flips around for the hand to engage with the other side. It's really hard for me to do that with my hand, but you can see what will happen is it will flip over to the other side of the back as the follower rotates. So 1, 2, engage with the back as early as you can, fingertips in the center of the spine. 3, and as the follower flips around, she will naturally flip into your hand. Take it. 5 and 6, right? And just finish it out. In closed position, offer the, you don't even need to offer the other hand. It's already engaged. So you'll have both the back and the hand connection. At that point, you'll be in closed position. To transition out of closed position, you can do a sugar push. 1, 2, 3, and on 4, just release the back. So release all the energy from the fingers. You can collapse them and then down and out, right? You can do that all on 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. The follower will naturally expand to the end of the slot and you'll be in extended position. If you don't want to be in extended position, you want to end in open position, what you can do is you can disengage from the back and then make contact with the underside of the upper arm and then lightly drag down the arm to end up in the hand, okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, you will end then in open position instead of extended position. Another favorite way to get from closed position to open position is to do a left side pass and also drop the back in the same manner as doing it in the sugar push. 1, 2, 3, and 4, again, disengage from the back and drop that arm. 5 and 6, you will end in extended position. If you want to stay in open position, the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and 4, disengage, and then re-engage with the underside of the arm, trail down until you get to the hand. You will end in open position. So you got lots of ways to get into and out of closed position, to get from closed position to open position, closed position to extended position. There's you can do it in a sugar push in both directions. You can get from open or extended into closed through a right side underarm turn, and you can get from closed back to an open with a left side pass. So lots of ways to do it, and you can probably find a few more if you look. Thanks for coming, and we will see you next week.